You know what's funny? Did you know there's two different Tekken OSTs for Tekken 3? There's the console, and then um there's the console version and the arcade version. They actually had different OSTs. All right, all right, all right. Do we even have a D tier? Like, do we have any characters that are just complete ass? I feel like this is like. Do we have any characters that feel like complete ass? Console version was top, yeah. I think the music in the console version was better. I'm trying to ask myself if I think. Perfect. Good. Nice. And I can do this too. Lovely. This is the same stage. Can I get one that has all the stages, please? This is all the stages we have? Okay, perfect. Also, damn, these stages look gorgeous. I play on like medium, so they don't look like that for me. Let's do let's do this first. Do I want to believe in my character? Complete ass? Maybe only Zafina? Does someone aim me for the lols? I don't even think Zafina's complete ass. I think people just want her to be like Tekken 7, and that's why people call her ass. Same thing with Leroy. If I'm honest, probably just Panda, right? If I think there's a character who's like just completely lackluster and doesn't really do anything good, like real that's good, I think it's Panda. Jack? I think we'll start from the top, right? We got Jack, Jin. Jack and Jin? Hell yeah. Fucking alcoholic made this fucking tier list. Jack and Jin. Let's start with Jack, I think. Panda and Steve? You think Steve is that bad? What? I think Steve does so fucking much. I don't know if Steve is like, I'm not saying I think he's like amazing. I don't think he's like really, really good, but I think he does a lot as a character. What? I think I want to change these. I think I want to change these. Hold on, hold on. Right, it would be that. Is it like that? Or should I just stick with the problem is like putting letters doesn't just putting letters doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't actually show you how strong the characters are. Also because I think D tier is like impossible to ever have in a modern fighting game. But I think I'd have to know more about a game to do that. Like with Soul Calibur, I could absolutely make a tier list with like complete among the upper echelon, lacking a little compared to the top tiers, slightly flawed, majorly flawed, and then like do not pick. Right? I think I could do that with Soul Calibur, but I can't do that with Tekken yet. I think we'll start with Jack. Jack seems like he's not really missing anything outside of a little more speed on some of his better lows, right? The lows that he's got that are really fast are linear. But, I mean, you have to make the read to try to step versus Jack and potentially get hit by a mid if you're trying to, like, you know, KBD or if you're trying to sidestep block. And a lot of times you're going to get clipped by him catching your timing. And when he hits you with something other than his, like, very small lows that are just essentially, like, long pokes, you take a lot of damage versus his highs and his mids. And I think that makes him, like, really solid. He has a really good space control game. He starts to snowball, like, really hard and has pretty good offense, right? I don't think this character is really missing anything on the offensive chart except for what I mentioned earlier, like having maybe one good faster low that's not linear. That's not so linear, right? Does he have a good wall rising launcher? Does he need a really good wall rising launcher? Probably not. I think this character is like pretty good, like very complete. Jack, Jin, and Juice? You mean Jun? She's not Juice. Relax, calm down. Jin. I'm gonna do this for now. I'm gonna put Jin right above Jack. Like Jin feels like he's like the best of the Mishimas, I think, right? And maybe it's Reina, maybe it's him. But of the Mishima styled characters, the ones that have an electric, I think Jin is the best one. And it's very frustrating, right? Because it always feels like he has a good spot to play on the screen versus a lot of characters. Even though generally his electric is like weaker than Kazuya's and Reina's, right? Even probably than Kuma's. But he just has like so many good ways to get into those ranges where his electrics become a threat, along with his like longer reaching mids, which is pretty cool. Jun. Dude, they really did just put all of the Mishimas together. Let's just move him over here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna start grabbing characters because I feel like it's too easy if I just do all the characters that they're putting first, because it really feels like they put a lot of the characters I want to put in high tier first. Let's go with Law. I think Law's like one of the weaker, like more standard feeling characters in the game. He doesn't feel like he's doing anything inherently threatening that another character couldn't be doing better. I don't think he's bad per se, but I don't think that he's a really big threat compared to some of the other characters. I want to put him in C. I really want to put him in C. I want to say the same with Asuka, and I think the reason why I want to say the same for Asuka is because I think if you want to play Asuka, you probably just play the other Kazama, who we'll get to later, who I feel is significantly stronger, but has a relatively similar toolkit, right? They're like almost like Echo Fighters, where Jun and Asuka have like slightly different tools, but for the most part, their playstyles are pretty interchangeable. Once you've learned one, you could probably easily learn the other. And maybe there's like certain niche matchups where Asuka will do better, but I doubt it. I think that most of the matchups that Asuka is gonna win, Jun is just gonna win harder. Yo, what up, Zach? How you doing, man? Let us grab a bear. I think Kuma is like the stronger of the two bears, but I don't think that makes him inherently amazing. It just makes him stronger than Panda. He's got a lot of funny things. He's got like an actual solid game plan this time, and he feels like a more cohesive character than he did in 7, but I don't know how much that makes him good. Rather makes him more complete. And him being complete is probably the best thing to say about him as a character compared to how he was in previous versions of himself. The only thing that Bear still can't really do very well is sidestep. But, I mean, look at them. They're fucking wide. Why the fuck should they be able to sidestep? I think Steve is another one of those characters I can put in like ho-hum, lackluster. Like, he's not bad. None of these characters are inherently bad. I just feel like there's characters that do what they do, but better. Right? If you're gonna play Steve and you like a lot of punches, you better learn how to start liking a lot of kicks. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a character that does a lot of the same things he does on the screen. That same style of stagger pressure and stance pressure that, you know, forces your opponent to make a mistake. I'm just putting him here. And I'll order them later. I think that might be anecdotal. I don't think he's better. I don't think he's worse by a mile. No, I don't think either one of these characters are really doing anything super duper threatening. I've never been like, oh no, fuck, Steve is gonna scare me, or oh no, fuck, Law is really scaring me here most of the time. I don't think either one of these characters are really doing anything too threatening, at least to me. Like, that's just my opinion. I kind of want to get rid of D tier completely. I kind of want to get rid of D tier completely. I don't think we need it. Oh boy. My mouse is hovering over a character, so I kind of just want to grab him. Dude, I feel like this character's a fucking demon. I feel like this character's a menace. I don't know if I'm just tripping and I have no idea how to play against the Mishimas and the Mishima style karate and all of that, like the sidewalking to beat 2 out of 3 of the options or whatever, and then punish them, like make their wave dash mix feel less impactful. But if you're not doing that, this character is so fucking powerful. And not only that, he has like a lot of really good plus frames. He has a lot of really good plus frames. Like, it doesn't feel inherently fair. Like, it feels kind of broken. Alisa, I want to put her in A. I don't think Alisa sucks. Like, I don't see a lot of this character, but I think it's because she's one of the harder characters to play if you don't understand Tekken movement. But once you understand Tekken movement, this character is a fucking menace. Because she can actually move around so freely on the screen compared to a lot of other characters. Like, she almost feels like she's moving like a Soul Calibur character. And it almost makes you want to learn her. Almost. I want to put Paul in B. It's literally DJ Drive Rush. It's probably better because it has a hitbox. Has a hitbox, it's probably better. I don't really know what to say about Paul other than like he's Mr. Mid-tier. He's got a lot of like back sway launchers and shoulders that check from distances, so he's got really good whip punishment. He has like a very strong mid-low game, good enough throws, nice side switch capability, and like huge damage. But he's not doing any of the cheaper things, like the cheapies that the top tiers are doing, or like the higher tier characters are doing. He's just like right there in the middle. He's not bad, right? You're gonna get wings with him, and you're especially gonna get wins with him if you can start to force your opponent into making mistakes so that you can capitalize on this. And you're gonna capitalize better than a lot of other characters with less effort, which is good. I want to say the same things about Brian that I said about Paul, but better, right? Because he's also going to do it with a modicum of timing that makes it very hard for your opponent to ever try to press buttons. Not only that, he has one of my favorite Tekken lows to ever exist, Hatchet Kick. He has fucking Hatchet Kick. That low is so good. It is so hard to like really like pin a Brian player down and stop them from using it because of the speed of it and the range. I'd put Brian in A. I wouldn't. I'd put Brian like top of B probably. That's just me though. I don't think he's inherently better than any of the three characters I put up here so far. Brian is going to kill you based on timing, so that means you need to vary your timing. He's got a lot of variables to him that make it so that if you're good with Brian, you're a good Tekken player, right? If you're good, not like orange rank, we're all kind of just mashing out. If you're good with Brian, you are a good Tekken player. You are a solid, fundamentally sound Tekken player. Like bottom A, yeah, that's why I'm putting him at top of B. For now, right? This could change around. I also think this character is really fucking cheap. I don't know if I'm just tripping. I don't know if this is like a me thing, but Ling feels like she fucking has everything. Yeah, 3+4 is a timing based button. It's a timing based button. You know what you do? You walk forward, sidestep, and then if he thinks you're gonna press a button, if he thinks he's caught your timing and he's wrong, he fucking dies for that button. He dies. Like it's literally a timing catch button. That's all that button is. It's a space control button too, I guess, sure, right? But Paul has similar things when it comes to space control buttons. I think that these characters do a lot of similar things, but Brian is going to do it with a modicum of like timing catching. So he might even technically be worse than Brian because Brian doesn't really need the timing catch aspects because he just has more back sways in his kit. Anyways, Ling. I think this character is super fucking cheap. She feels like a complete character in two separate stances, front turn and back turn, right? A lot of characters when they're in back turn, they don't feel like complete characters who have threat at all levels, right? High, mid, low level, like high, mid, and low, and having like mix-up potential and what are they called? Step catching moves, all of that. She does, right? She has a low tracking move from back turn. A low tracking move from back turn, right? And then she's got like multiple mid launchers, high plus frames. I think she's even got a power crush from back turn. This character is very good, super duper evasive with AOP, of course. I don't see a world where this character is worse than like mid A. But I'm putting her in S for now. I think she's like super duper cheapies, and people just haven't learned her yet or haven't played against enough good Lings. I played against fucking Peeling. I was like, yo, this character's got some fucking juice, nigga. How do I beat this character? I took a round. I was very happy that I took a round off one of the best players in the United States. But that's not saying much because, of course, Tekken players are playing slow to figure out how to break people down, so. Shit talk the mains? I would never. Because I'm a one-take YouTuber. I don't do that shit. That's too hard. I'm a one-take YouTuber. I don't do shit like that. Let's see. Fang is the cheapies. I'd put Fang above Jin. I think Fang is like either bottom of S or top of A. This character's really, really good. A lot of that evasive stuff that Brian has, but also having like really, really, really good small pokes and really good lows. Oh my lord. Amazing back turn mix-ups. Super long reaching hop kick. Very, very long range hop kick, right? So when you can catch those lows from really long range, you can still fully convert off of them. His heat engagers are really good. And he's got like, I feel like this character isn't really missing anything. This is another one of those very complete characters who will carry you far if you have like super good Tekken fundamentals. You could probably get very far without Tekken fundamentals just by understanding this character's tools. You might never have to learn how to play Tekken if you learn how to play Fang. I want to put Yoshi in B. I think Yoshi, like, he's cheap, but he's like cheap in a way where like once you understand what he's doing, he feels significantly weaker. Like I started playing against, started doing the, what are they called? I started doing the training mode stuff, like the replay takeover, and I looked at a lot of the things that Yoshi was doing. I was like, oh, this feels super fake. Like this isn't real, and I'm just getting hit by because I didn't know that it existed, or I didn't know that this was said counterplay. And when you blow it up with said counterplay, it feels super bad. He does have like some things, right? He's got the seppuku, he's got like life gain to get it back. He's got a modicum, like a multitude of stances and things like that, and ways to float in between said stances, like a Lei Wulong. But I don't know if it makes him safe enough. He's got like one really cheap string where it's like a fast low into a high that puts him into stance at plus frames, kind of like Leroy. But I'm going to tell you now, I also don't think that it's a very good thing for Leroy in this game either, right? It's like, it makes them one-trick ponies, and that's like the only real thing you have to worry about most of the time. Otherwise, you just do nothing and wait for them to do their bad mix on your block and punish them for it. Speaking of Leroy, I want to also put Leroy in B. I might even put Leroy in C. Like, I don't think Leroy's terrible. I just think there's a lot of characters that play that good neutral that he has better, and then the fact that he has a parry isn't super prevalent in this game. The parry is a lot worse. And the fact that it's really only one parry, he doesn't have multiple. I guess he's got Hermit, right? He's got Hermit as a parry for lows, and then he's got his basic parry for mids and highs, which is, I guess, kind of okay, and it's a nice tool to have. But it doesn't feel like it outweighs Flash, which is a better parry. It doesn't feel like it outweighs Jun's parry, or even Raven's parries, right? So I think that he's down here for the reason that he doesn't have good enough space control and good enough mix-ups to really force you into making the mistakes to whiff against him to get his bigger damage. Because a lot of his big damage comes off of his whiff punishment and space control, and he's just not allowed to get it as frequently in Tekken 7. I mean, in Tekken 8 as he was in 7. That feels so weird to put him there, man. Zaffy. This character, I could see her being better than, like, most of these characters. She's probably somewhere here. Like, she's like the same level of like cheesiness as Yoshi, but with like way more solid openers. So I want to put her above Yoshi. She's got way more solid openers than Yoshi does when she can get her big hit, and she has significantly more evasiveness, which I think in a game like Tekken 8 is going to be very important. Having evasiveness to be able to like quickly high crush and even potentially sometimes mid crush, is really important because of the fact that it makes your opponent have to like stagger their offense and slow down and make more reads, right? Instead of just being able to react to things and kind of quickly check them, you have to make the read on it, and if you make the read and you're wrong, you get blown up super hard by characters like this. So that's the same thing about Ling, but I don't think Zafina has the same toolkit as Ling. Like, I don't think they're even really comparable outside of the fact that they can both high crush and potentially sometimes even mid crush, right? That's like saying that Leo belongs in that same camp of characters, and they're very different. They don't play the same. Zaff is def worse than Steve? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think Zafina's a complete character. I don't think she's as bad as people say. Same with Leroy, right? Like, a lot of people will be putting both these characters in like bottom 5 because they're not as good as they were in Tekken 7. I don't think they are. I think they're good enough characters. Who do you want to grab next? Dude, Lily's crazy. I don't know. She just feels like she can steal so many turns, dude. Like, I don't even really know ever when it's my turn versus Lily, dude. She still turns really well. She's got like really solid plus frames, a good crouch dash stance, amazing back turn. Good good like mid crushes and high crushes. She shouldn't have mid crushes. Mid crushes should never be a thing, but they exist on her too. And I think that makes her. She's one of the characters I consider really complete in Tekken 8 right now. Like, she doesn't feel like she's really missing anything. Like, if they gave her anything, it's just a cherry on top. I'm gonna be Deoden's realist friend right now. What are you gonna do? Say Lily's like bottom 3? Lily's an S? You think so? I think Lily is strong enough, but do I think that the characters that I'm going to put above her are more consistent? Probably. Because not only are they big damage, they're also neutrally solid and don't have to take as many risks by being in back turn. I think the only thing keeping her out of being in S is that she's not like Ling in back turn. I think Ling is like the best bet. If you want to play a character that has like a really complete back turn game, you just play Ling, right? If you guys notice, I don't use a lot of Raven back turn all the time. I like Raven. I think Raven's dope. I think Raven might be somewhere in A or S, but I don't think that he's any better. I don't think he's better than Ling at all by any means. Because she just is two complete characters at the same time. Lily's not two complete characters at the same time. She's really solid. I think Lily's good. I'm not like hating on Lily and being like, Lily fucking sucks. Boo. Alright, let's just grab the fucking demon, shall we? This character is the mad cheapies. This character is probably... man, dude. He's like super steppable and he's got a lot of high strings that have like a lot of lag on the end of them, so you can almost always like duck under his highs outside of his basic jab or his 2-2. Like you can duck under 2-2-2 and launch it, or you can duck under 2-2-2 and or you can block it and it's like an I-12 punish. As it currently stands, Victor is S. I think Victor is like early game Honda in Street Fighter 6. How everyone was like, oh my god, Honda's super cheap, Manon's super cheap, and they just like fell off. I'm gonna put him here. I think because of the fact that he just happens to have all of these really steppable options and super prominent highs that make you want to duck versus him. If he's not at range and he's not gonna running to you most of the time, if you just end up doing really small flash ducks versus him, you end up catching his down back 4. You end up catching like a straight high, and you launch either option a lot of times. You get massive damage for him just doing a small poke that's either supposed to be a counter hit launcher or a check. And that doesn't feel good because it covers both options at the same time, right? He's got a safe launcher, which is really nice, but then he also still has his punishable down forward too. Once his grab nerfs come in, he goes down hard. Also, to be fair, if you're worried about his grabs, if you're also thinking about grabs, once again, if you just quickly flash ducks things, you can get these throw punishes. So the fact that you can't break his throws doesn't really matter that much when you're worried about his down back 4 and his fast highs. Like, yes, I think that it's super cheap and that it's actually broken and should be fixed, but I don't think it inherently makes him like an S tier character just because he's got a little bug, because that bug also contributes to his main game plan and weakness, is that you're going to be looking for a lot of highs and a lot of steppable things. Because you're looking for a lot of highs, you're already ready to be ducking throws. I said Nina is like potentially top 5. I lied. I don't think Nina's that good. But I do want to put her like maybe behind Jin. Her stance pressure is really solid. She's got really good safety, a lot of evasiveness, really, really, really good wall carry. Like, I don't think this character's missing a lot, really. I just think that she's really hard to play and she's super punishing when you're wrong. Like, she's not gonna carry you. When you're wrong and someone knows how to blow up that you're wrong, Nina kind of fucking dies. She just kind of dies. And it's the same thing with a character like, there's another character I'm gonna put higher up that I think the same things about, but the offensive flowchart is just so much better that it almost feels like you never get to steal a turn back. Damn, we're really, really running out of characters here. Alright, let me just do it. Sorry, Panda. I think you're the worst character in the game currently. I think Panda's really bad. I think Panda could be better, but like, I don't know. There's just not a lot of people playing Panda, and the things that Panda's doing feel worse than Panda's Tekken 7's version, which generally isn't supposed to be something that I consider that I want to make a factor. But when every other character is doing way better things, and the things that Panda was doing were the only good things Panda had, and now from 7 to 8 they're worse because they're just like launch punishable now, or they're unsafe now in some modicum in some way, where they normally were just like a safe thing that you had to learn a real counterplay, so you couldn't just sit there and block. You can block it out a lot versus this character. You can block it out, backdash a lot versus this character, and it feels like the right thing to do. When that wasn't the case in Tekken 7, you would get mauled for it, and it kind of sucks. It makes her game plan a lot worse. Dang. Cheap and easy. Cheap and easy. This character is McDonald's. This character is literally McDonald's here. You can have it. Was it oh, that's Burger King, right? Have it your way. What's McDonald's? I forgot what McDonald's slogan is. Whatever it is. This character is really fucking stupid. I hate this character. I hate how simple she is and how effective her game plan can be at the lowest and highest levels of play. It is very frustrating to feel like you're outplaying someone. Yeah, like you're playing her and you're like, I'm loving it. Like it is, there's no reason to not pick Azucena if you want to do something cheap right now that's going to be relatively sustainable for the entirety of these patches before they start nerfing her. Because I legitimately do think there's a lot of things that she has that just absolutely need nerfs. They don't have like a reasonable, real counterplay to them. They're just super solid and really easy to enact. Damn, my top 5's looking crazy. What the fuck? Whoa. Shaheen. I want to put Shaheen probably behind Victor. I think this character's really good, but people just kind of sleep on him. His heat engager is crazy. Like, he's got free 50-50s. Bait running 3-2 and step duck it. Yeah. Nice. In a game with really unreliable steps. Yes. Yes. Very good counterplay. And that's not the only thing she's doing that's cheap, by the way. And whenever people are like, running 3-2, bait it. Yeah. Like, dude, she's got so many other really good things. So if you're worried about running 3-2 and then she just does nothing, and you step duck in her face and die, you're like, oh wow, I'm a fucking idiot. Wow, she really outplayed me. And all she did was dash block. Like, this character is a menace. Same thing with Shaheen. I think Shaheen's also a menace. Like, having a really good slide, very, very solid mid pressure, super good stances, amazing wall carry. You'd be surprised how many times I'm stepping it now. I've stepped it recently too. I like started doing the step training versus, and it feels like really easy to step once you start learning it, but you can vary your timing. We're not fighting robots, we're fighting people. And the people that we're fighting right now, because we're in like red and purple, are robots. They're fucking stupid. They don't know how to vary and adjust their game plan. But once you do, you can just take one more dash before you go for it. And then when they sidestep, it realigns to them because of the fact that you're stepping at fastest possible timing, right? Like, something like that, there's a lot of layers on top of a running move that good. I don't think it should be that good. I can say the same thing about Shaheen's running moves too, which is funny, but I put him significantly lower than Victor and Lily. I'm sorry, than Azucena. A whole tier lower, but I think all these characters are like really close to each other. I don't even think top 5 is a giant disparity. Speaking of top 5, I think this character might be top 1 right now, dude. I don't know if I'm just tweaking. I don't know if I'm like kind of like lazy in how I think about the game and like the simplicity of the game plans, but I think like Azucena and Drag just feel way too easy for the amount of reward that they get. Compared to his slide, but I don't know. I mean, but you're like ready for slide when you see him in those ranges, right? Generally. So because of that, you're worried about the threat of the running moves because of slide. That's what I mean. Like, they couple well with what he has, which is slide. Sure. Speaking of running moves, Dragonov. Speaking of running moves, he has a running move that is a high, and is a tracking move. And I think it's like -2 on block, -3 on block, right? And then he's got a running 2 that is a mid and really plus on block. Down to super solid. You can literally just mash that shit at people. It's not a launch punish. It's only a while standing 4. He's got really good setups with his throws where you have to stay on the ground because if not, you get launched. He's got sneak 4. He's got sneak 2. He's got the sneak 1+2, which is a launcher. Like, he's got really, really solid things out of his stance. He also has super good wall carry and amazing damage. Probably some of the best, like, practical damage in the game. I think Drag might be the best character in the game right now. Like, right now. Currently. If you want to play a Mishima, don't play this one. I think this might be, like, the worst Mishima. I don't think he's worse than this character. There we go. Oops. Let me reorder this. There we go. Is Snake the wave dash? Yes. Yes. Snake stance is a wave dash. Yes. Sneak 4 is like +7 or something and has like ridiculous pushback, and they thought that was a nerf. What it does is it actually just makes it so all of his crouch dash mix-ups are just as potent because you're +7, right? So it just makes him 7 frames faster, and it gives him more wall carry on block, which is super funny. I like, it was supposed to be a nerf, and I understand it. It worked as a nerf, but it doesn't feel like a super powerful one. The same things I said about Jin and Devil Jin about them being like frustrating to fight against because of their like wave dash pressure. Same with Kazuya, but I think that's all he really has. I think that a lot of his tools are just better allocated to his son in like every way possible, right? The Kazama stuff mixed with, or the Kazama style mixed with Mishima worked out a lot better for Jin and Devil Jin than it did for Kazuya in this game right now. I don't think he's like, he could be somewhere like in B, right? I could see him maybe being better than Bear and better than Leroy, but as of now, I'm putting him in like C because he just feels like a character slot where you're picking him because you like Kazi, you're not picking him because you want to play a character with a good electric, right? At that point, you just play Devil Jin or you just play Jin, and you're going to be doing a lot of the other things that are important to the Kazama and Mishima game plan that you just don't get with Kazuya. My top 5 is weird because I don't know who to put. There's like 3 characters I want to put in top 5, and I can only put one of them, right? Hwarong, King, or Jun. And it sucks because they're all really good, but I can only really put one of them in the top 5. Like, I don't even know. This might be right. It might be something like this. Damn. This top 5 is crazy. Oh, another character I think is super cheap, but I haven't like touched on yet is Leo. Like, Leo has back 1/1+2, which catches step, and back 1/4, right? The counterplay for back 1/4 used to just be that you step, but now you have back 1/1+2. It's punishable on block, but it's not so punishable that it's not worth taking the risk every now and then. If they ever just block the forward 4 or the back 1/4, you get free mix. She's basically playing Mortal Kombat X, which is crazy. And then now she also has the Lightning Glare install that makes those moves that you're going to use as your mix-ups, your back 3, what is it? Back 3-1 and your down back 4-1, those can now have extensions that you can fish around with to get extra damage once you've layered your offense properly on someone. She has a really good down forward 2, good hop kick, very good evasive launchers. This character feels like a complete character. I don't think there's anything really this character's missing. Every time I play Leo, I'm like, dude, this character is so much fun and feels so cheap. I don't feel like I'm using my brain most of the time. Lars, I'm going to put him around that same tier, the Yoshi tier. This is the Yoshi tier, the tier of characters that like does dumb things, but once you lab them, they get significantly worse, and a lot of their stance pressure becomes fake. I think Zafina is the best of those 3 characters, but I mean, they're not unplayable. It just means that you have to play them smarter and play them more compact. You have to play like small Tekken. You're not allowed to really go for any of the crazier stuff until you really force your opponent off of trying to check your stances. I don't think Quo is better than Jun. I do think he's easier to be blatantly dumb with, which almost makes it seem like he's better. Yeah, true. I mean, he has a better conversion rate at that point, right? That means the characters, the people that are playing him are doing better than Jun because of the fact that he's simpler to enact his game plan with. Speaking of characters with simple to enact game plans, Claudio. I think Claudio's game plan is very simple to enact, probably here. I think Claudio belongs here. I might need to move Brian up too. I think it's like these two. Claudio's game plan is like extremely simple, and I think that because of the way that Starburst works in this game, you're almost always going to have it. You're almost always going to have it, and it's almost always going to feel good to be able to whip punish someone into bigger damage because of the fact that you got it. It's a minigame that doesn't feel like a minigame at all anymore, and I think that makes him a really good character. It makes him super solid and like right there in the middle of the pack, where he's got a lot of the things that characters below him wish they had, and then a weaker version of things that characters above him have. I'm getting to really cheap characters, and I hate it. Lee. I want to say same situation as Lars, and he's kind of here. Like, Lee's not bad. I mean, he has like safer stuff, I guess, and like a really, really prevalent offense if you don't know how to fight against him. But same deal. Once you like understand his just frame and slide, you kind of get these punishes a lot better than normal. I think Rin is a good Mishima, right? Definitely better than Bear. Where does she belong, though? Maybe here? She might be better than Nina. Better than Nina. Honestly, I think all 3 of these characters could be an S. The problem is the order, right? Like, this is rough. Fundamentally, I think that Jun is a better character. Does he have a launching low? Only in Heat, I think. Only in Heat, I think. or it's a counter hit launching low. Like if you counter hit them with it because they're trying to jab check you during your stance pressure, you hear a thong, and then off of that you can like pick up with another low into a mid into a full combo. Otherwise, it's just like a big low check that's like plus on block, which is plus on hit, which is good for him because he's in stance. He needs more plus on block. Plus on hit lows. Yeah. This one is so rough, right? Let's just be real and put Raven somewhere here. Raven's probably better than Jin and Fang. He's just harder to play. I think the thing that holds Raven back the most is that he's hard to play, and a lot of these characters above him, a lot of these characters that people would probably put above him, are not hard to play. They're easier to play, right? Like other than the fact that Jin has an electric, these characters are all significantly easier. These four right here, these four fuckers right here. Down 4-4 is a counter hit launching low. No, he doesn't have an outright low launch. No, he needs a counter hit or something. Yeah. I think that this character is not really missing anything outside of like some crazy, like dumb tracking hell sweep that's a low that launches into full combo, right? Like he has a back turn one, but it's pretty seeable. Other than that, he's not really missing anything. He doesn't really need that anyway. He's got like really good tracking on his mids. He has a very powerful I-15 that leads into stance. Doesn't have an I-15 launcher. That is something that I think he's kind of missing. But generally, you kill people who go for Rage Art with down forward 4-4-3. Has a really good back turn. Among the best heat engagers, right? Or heat bursts, my bad. Among the best heat bursts, or heat smashes, my bad. Heat smashes. And he has a really good condition inside of his heat. He actually gets to keep his heat extended longer by using the Shadow Clone moves on hit. And on block, they're all safe. They become like -3 or -4, which is pretty good. But that means you can actually combo into his heat and then use Shadow Clone moves to gain back the meter that you lost by using a heat burst as the starter in a combo, as like another combo filler, as a bound, as it were, which I think is really cool. And it makes his game plan, when it comes to playing the game, getting into heat as early as possible and rinsing that advantage to mix people for free off of things like Hellfire and down forward 1-4, and down back 2-1-1, right? That stuff is, I think, is like super duper powerful, and it makes him really solid in heat, pretty good in back turn. He's got pretty solid neutral because of the fact that he has like tracking mids that are like either half tracking or full tracking, though they don't say it, right? In down back 2 and down forward 1. He doesn't have a lot of range, and his plus frames are generally built off highs or steppable mids, and they're not in strings, but I still think he's a solid enough character because he's not doing anything that these characters below him can. The characters below him can't do a lot of the things that he does. He has a lot of the cheapies, they just have to be established and developed first. Oh, these last two characters are so rough. Fuck. I think these characters are all S tier, if you ask me. I'm just trying to figure out the order for them. I think it might be this. I could see Quo being like here, if I'm honest. That's rough, dude. Yeah, I could see Quo being like there. And maybe even Reyna being lower. This shit is rough. Holy crap. I can agree with that. Yeah, I don't think Quo is better than these two characters. They have like a more simple game plan that doesn't rely on the opponent not understanding what they're doing or making a mistake versus them. And they also still have the cheapies. Like you're not going to tell me that Lily and Leo aren't cheap. So I think that's kind of the order that I want to go with. It puts Jun right outside of top 5, which is not something I wanted to do, but I do think that like King's game plan is just significantly stronger. Like, not significantly, but like it's significantly easier to enable, and it's significantly harder. I want to argue Lily is top 5 though. I wouldn't put Lily above Ling. If Lily's gonna be top 5, she would still Ling spot. She wouldn't still Ascent spot, she wouldn't still DJ, she wouldn't still Drags, right? So the character that you would rip out of this is her. You'd rip her out of this, put her here, and you'd put Lily right there. Right? But I don't see it. I just don't see it. I feel like you haven't played against enough good Lings. When you play against Peeling like I did, okay? When you play against Peeling and you get your fucking ass whooped, despite your ripping is king? Really? Weird. Weird. You really think throws suck? You really think throws suck, huh? Because your character has a parry for them. That's crazy. I think for simplicity's sake, we move her down to top of B like that. Actually, I think we do this for simplicity's sake, which is still fair. The spot you rip would be king. Man, I couldn't do it. I think king is super solid. I'm gonna save this. I think king is like way too solid. Because you don't even need the threat of the throws is what makes them so good. You don't even need to use